I parked my Tesla in front of the rundown building that housed Morgan & Sons Manufacturing, watching my parents through the grimy windows. They were preparing for their meeting with a potential investor, their last hope to save the failing family business. They had no idea that investor was me. 5 years earlier, I wouldn't have been able to afford a Tesla. Back then I was driving a beat-up Honda Civic, the car I'd saved for through 3 years of part-time jobs. The car they sold without my permission. 5 years earlier. "We need to talk," Dad said as I came home from my shift at the tech repair shop. Mom sat beside him at the kitchen table, avoiding my eyes. "Where's my car?" I asked, having noticed the empty driveway. "I always park it right there." "That's what we need to discuss, Alex." Dad cleared his throat. "We sold it this morning." The world seemed to tilt. "You, what?" "The business needed emergency capital." Mom jumped in. "The bank rejected our loan application and we had a major order to fill." "So you sold my car?" My voice cracked. "The one I spent 3 years saving for." "Family comes first," Dad said firmly. "Morgan & Sons is our legacy." "Your legacy?" "Sometimes sacrifices must be made for the greater good." "Sacrifices?" I laughed bitterly. "You mean my sacrifice? How am I supposed to get to work?" "To my night classes." "You can take the bus," Mom suggested. "Lots of people take the bus." "The bus doesn't run at 2 a.m. when my coding class ends." I was shouting now. "Did you even think about that?" "Don't raise your voice," Dad warned. "We're still your parents. This was a business decision." "No," I corrected, a cold clarity settling over me. "This was theft." Mom gasped. "Alexander Morgan. We raced you better than Dash." "You raced me to believe that family comes first," I cut her off. "But what you really meant was that your business comes first. Your dreams come first. Your needs come first." "We'll pay you back," Dad promised. "Once this order is filled, the business will turn around. You'll see." I looked at them, really looked at them. Dad in his worn suit, Mom in her faded dress. They'd been making the same promises for years. The business was always just one big order away from success, one deal away from turning around. "How much did you get for the car?" I asked quietly. $8,000, Mom said. "We know you paid 12, but it was an emergency sale." Of course. They'd even managed to lose money on my car. "Keep it," I said, heading to my room. "Consider it my final investment in Morgan & Sons." "Where are you going?" Dad called after me. "Grandpa Joe offered me a room above his repair shop last month. I turned him down because I wanted to help here. Clearly that was a mistake." "Don't be dramatic." Mom followed me up the stairs. "You can't just leave. Watch me." That night I moved out. They didn't know that while fixing computers at the repair shop, I'd been developing software on the side. They didn't know that Grandpa Joe, who'd left their failing business years ago, had industry connections. And they certainly didn't know that the code I wrote during those 2 a.m. classes would eventually become the foundation of Morgan Tech Solutions, now one of the fastest-growing software companies in the state. 5 years later, I sat in my Tesla, watching them prepare for their meeting with the mysterious CEO of MTS Investments. They'd been trying to get this meeting for months, unaware that every email, every call had been routed directly to me. My phone buzzed, a text from Grandpa Joe. "Ready to show them what real business looks like?" I smiled, gathering my documents. "Time to talk about family priorities," I texted back, stepping out of the car. Through the window I saw them straighten their clothes, put on their best business smiles. They had no idea that their prodigal son was about to teach them a lesson about family, legacy, and the true cost of sacrifice. The interior of Morgan & Sons hadn't changed in 5 years. Same scuffed floors, same flickering fluorescent lights, same faded Quality First banner hanging crookedly on the wall. The only difference was the desperation in my parents' eyes as they waited in the conference room. "Mr. and Mrs. Morgan," my executive assistant Rachel announced, playing her role perfectly, "the CEO of MTS Investments will see you now." I walked in, dressed in a tailored suit that cost more than their monthly revenue. The look of confusion on their faces slowly transformed into shock as recognition set in. "Alex," Mom whispered. "Actually, it's Alexander Morgan, CEO of Morgan Tech Solutions," I corrected, setting my laptop on the table. "Though you might know my company better as MTS Investments." Dad stood up so quickly his chair scraped against the floor. You're the investor? Sit down, Dad. We have a lot to discuss. I pulled up their financial records on the conference room's projector. Let's start with the obvious. Morgan & Sons is 3 months away from bankruptcy. We just need capital to modernize, Mom began. If we could just dash. Like when you needed capital 5 years ago? I interrupted. When you sold my car without permission? They had the grace to look ashamed. Son, we can explain, Dad tried. No need. Your books explain everything. I scrolled through their records. 5 years of declining revenue. Outdated equipment. No digital infrastructure. And I paused at a particular entry, 17 different loan applications rejected in the last 3 years. The banks don't understand our potential, Dad defended. No, they understand perfectly. What you don't understand is that it's not 1985 anymore. Manufacturing has evolved. But you're still running this place exactly like Grandpa did, before he was smart enough to get out. Is that why you're here? Mom asked quietly. To gloat. I'm here because despite everything, this company still has my name on it. And unlike some people in this room, I take family legacy seriously. I clicked to the next slide. A comprehensive modernization plan. MTS Investments is prepared to offer you a deal. We'll inject $2 million into Morgan & Sons, upgrade all equipment, implement modern inventory systems, and provide technical training for all staff. Their eyes widened at the number. In exchange, I continued, MTS takes 51% ownership. I become chairman of the board. And you both step down as CEO and CFO, taking positions as operations managers instead. You want to take control of our company? Dad's face reddened. I want to save it. But to do that, things need to change. Starting with the management style that thinks it's okay to steal from family to fund bad business decisions. We didn't steal, Mom started. $8,000, I cut her off. Plus 5 years of compound interest. Shall we calculate the exact amount? Dad slumped in his chair. So this is revenge? No, I pulled out 2 envelopes. This is business. Inside these envelopes are 2 documents. One is our investment offer, which expires in 24 hours. The other is your lawsuit for civilian theft, which will be filed if you decline. You'd sue your own parents? Mom gasped. Family comes first, remember? I'm trying to save our family's legacy. The question is, are you finally ready to put the family business ahead of your own egos? The room fell silent except for the hum of the old fluorescent lights. Through the window I could see my Tesla parked next to their rusting delivery van. A perfect metaphor for our diverging paths. You have until this time tomorrow to decide. I stood up, straightening my jacket. Oh, and one more thing. I pulled out my keys and tossed them on the table. That's for my old Honda Civic. I tracked it down, bought it back, and had it fully restored. It's parked out back. Consider it a reminder of the difference between taking what you want and earning what you get. 1 month after the takeover, Morgan & Sons manufacturing was unrecognizable. The old building had been renovated with modern facilities, the outdated machinery replaced with state-of-the-art equipment, and every process digitized through Morgan Tech Solutions software. I stood in my new office, formerly my father's, reviewing the first month's numbers on my tablet when Rachel appeared. Your parents are here for their performance review. Send them in. They entered cautiously, dressed in the company's new uniforms. The past month had aged them but also changed them. Gone was the arrogant posturing, replaced by a humility born from watching their son transform their failing business into a modern manufacturing powerhouse. Have a seat, I gestured to the chairs. Let's discuss your first month as operations managers. The new systems are. Dad hesitated. Impressive. Production is up 200%. And the error rate is down 85%, Mom added. The automated quality control you implemented. The same automation I suggested 3 years ago, I reminded them. Back when I was just playing with computers instead of learning the family business. They shifted uncomfortably in their seats. But that's the past, I continued, pulling up their performance metrics. Let's talk about now. Your departments are meeting targets. Staff feedback is positive. You're actually following protocols instead of making impulsive decisions. We're trying, Mom said softly. After seeing what you've built, we had no idea. No, you didn't. Because you never asked. Never noticed. Too busy trying to save a failing company your way to see that the solution was right in front of you. Dad cleared his throat. Son, about the car. Which one? The Honda you sold or the Tesla I bought myself? Both. He looked down. We were wrong. Not just about the car but about everything. We were so focused on preserving what we thought was our legacy that we couldn't see we were destroying it. I stood and walked to the window. Below, workers moved efficiently through the modernized factory floor. The old Quality First banner had been replaced with a new one. Innovation meets tradition, Morgan Technologies Manufacturing Division. You know what the difference is between us? I turned back to them. When I built Morgan Tech Solutions, I didn't do it to prove anything to anyone. I did it because I saw a better way. Every line of code, every system I designed, it was about creating something meaningful, not clinging to outdated ideas. We understand that now, Mom said. Watching you run this place, you're better at this than we ever were. Because I learned from your mistakes, I replied. Every time you dismissed my ideas, I worked harder to prove them right. Every time you put the business before family, I promised myself I'd find a way to do both. Rachel appeared with another set of documents. The Q2 projections are ready. And the special project is complete. I nodded, handing my parents 2 folders. Open them. Inside were new contracts and keys to the executive parking spaces. You're promoting us? Dad asked incredulously. No, I corrected. I'm giving you an opportunity to earn back your positions. These are 6-month trial contracts for deputy directors. If you meet all performance metrics, maintain staff satisfaction, and most importantly, demonstrate that you understand modern business ethics, you'll be considered for executive positions. You're giving us another chance? Mom whispered. I'm giving the family business another chance, I said. The question is, are you ready to be part of a family that respects each other's contributions? They stared at the contracts, 20 pages of detailed expectations and accountability metrics. When do we start? Dad asked. You already have. Every day for the past month, you've been proving whether you can adapt or not. I turned back to the window. Oh, and one more thing. I'm reinstating the annual family business dinner. First topic of discussion. The difference between taking from family and building with them. As they left, clutching their new contracts, I heard Mom say to Dad, our son owns the company, and he still kept the family name. No, I murmured, watching the sun set over our expanding factory complex. I didn't just keep the name. I gave it the meaning it always deserved.